Genius Brain listeners, this podcast is brought to you by Kickoff. Credit is king, my friends, and you could do it with Kickoff because it's so simple. Kickoff is a smart, legit credit hack with no catch and no credit check. It's simple. You make on-time payments, credit bureaus see good behavior, and your credit grows. And the best part is there's this auto pay thing where you just sleep away your worries without missing a payment. Users with credit under 600 increase their credit by an average of 30 points in the first month. Join over 1 million people building credit with Kickoff credit account today. Get your first month for $1. That's 80% off the normal price. When you go to getkickoff.com/genius today, that's kickoff without the C, get KIKOFF.com/genius. Must sign up via getkickoff.com/genius to activate offer. Offer applies to new Kickoff customers first month only, subject to approval. Average impact of 30-point increase in first month based on Equifax VantageScore 3.0 changes for Kickoff premium customers with starting credit below 600 who made their first on-time payment between January 2021 and March 2024. Payment and credit activity outside Kickoff can have impact on your credit. Terms and conditions may apply. Offer subject to change. Individuals' results may vary. What do you want to do? She goes, how come you don't make YouTube videos anymore? Right? And she always asks us stuff. She goes, when you did this stuff, it did better views, all this other stuff. Like, she's my manager and shit. You know? And I was like, oh my, let me ask you something. I was like, why don't you ask me like what makes me happy? Right? And she goes, I stopped doing those videos because it made me miserable. Right? Like, I was doing things that I just didn't care about. It was just in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Genius Brain Podcast. 안녕하세요. 가와이. 짜짜짜짜. 나 예뻐? 오빠, 나 예뻐? So Ed has some big fucking news, which is so interesting because the news that he's going to talk about was actually a conversation I just had with my parents. And you told me that your mom is selling the store, or did sell the store.
Sold the store, and she's gonna be fully out of there by this week. Yeah.
This week?
Yeah. I mean, the sale went through last month. I think they gave her a certain date where she's got to move all her personal shit out of there. So. Yeah, since 97 we had that store.
Is this who bought it?
I think some like Indian Americans. Yeah,
of course.
But good luck, guys. You're gonna have it worse than us, man.
Yeah, they see you're a brown person.
Oh man, you're gonna get it bad.
Dude, so I was talking to my mom, and then sometimes when I hear other people's like immigrant story and they talk about, their parents talk about the hard life that they had or whatever. Yeah, my parents kind of like talk about that too, but not really. And I think like what I realized about my parents is that they have a really positive outlook on life, right? So how my mom looks at the store was never like, oh, I got to work here every day. This shit's exhausting. She's always looked at the store like this was my lifeline.
Yeah.
Like if I never had this, I wouldn't have this.
Same.
And so she's always had such a grateful, like a heart of graciousness when it came to the store and the beauty supply store. And I think that's also why like she developed a lot of long relationships with customers because it's almost like, oh, because you guys are here, I'm here.
Yeah.
And so it's weird sometimes when I hear other people's stories and they're like, their parents are like, oh, I hated my life, but I did this for you. I mean, yeah, parents did that to, guilt trip us and stuff like that. But whenever it came to the store, I had to look back, and my mom actually never complained about working.
Right.
I don't remember that at all. And I remember she said it to me. She goes, have you ever heard me say I hate working here? She goes, I've never said that. So you guys always hated working here, which I hated that you were shitting on the place that I loved. It's like, I love this place because if I didn't have this, I wouldn't have the store. I wouldn't have anything.
100%.
Yeah.
The exact same sentiment my mom has about the gas station. Like, we all fucking hate it. I think my dad hated it. But my mom was like, God gave us this store. Like, it was ordained. Like, or else we'd be dead.
Yeah.
Who knows where we'd be? Who knows what would happen to our family? You wouldn't have a home. None of that. You should be grateful. So here's the story. In 7th grade, like, when we first got our store, I remember my mom was taking me to school, and I was trying to tell her, like, I'm getting bullied. These people are racist, but I don't know how to say it in Korean. And I was like, 엄마 여기 싫어. Dude, she laid and she started screaming at me. Same thing about if we're not here, then where do we go?
Yeah.
I'm like, anywhere. Literally anywhere. I don't
Africa. I want to go to Africa.
It's like, seriously. But she was like, she couldn't understand like the fact, like what racism is.
Yeah.
Like getting bullied or whatever. Because when people say racist shit to her, like they'll say like, me so horny, me love you long time. It's just in one ear,
out the other. She goes, "You're gonna buy this or what?"
Yeah, exactly.
Because I need to pay my bill, so you can buy this or.
So she's not concerned about that.
Yeah.
You know, she'll only feel racism when it comes down to business. It's like, oh, you don't work with me because I'm Asian?
Yeah, it has everything to do with money.
Yeah.
But, we talk about this where it's, what's it called? It's based on hierarchy of importance, right?
Yeah,
of needs. So if your bills are paid, you have food in your stomach, you have a roof over your head, all these things start to, and it's not going to go away. You start worrying about shit that you don't have to fucking worry about.
Yeah.
This is where we talk about identity politics, all this other bullshit that nobody gives a fuck about. It's because all your needs are met.
Yeah.
Everything that makes you survive, that makes you happy is there. And now you have time to do other shit. And I even thought about this too. It's like before, because I'm doing farming stuff, right? Majority of the time is your lifestyle was just doing things that made you survive.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And the other stuff was like the jokes and the fun that you have in between your friends, whether or your wives or the people you're fucking or whatever. That becomes like enjoyment.
Yeah.
And then people started creating music and all these other things that happen with it.
Right.
But that's after your needs are met first, and then you have this.
Yeah.
Having food, shelter, none of this was supposed to be a given.
Right.
It's just stuff that you had to fucking earn all the time. Yes, we earn it in our jobs, but we do it in a cushy space, in air-conditioned building and stuff like that. But this is where things start to become a little fucked up, right? And I think like for our parents too, like my mom's like, this is our lifeline. You fucking hate this place? Like I worked hard for this fucking place. Like you look at this place like you fucking hate it.
Yeah.
And so for me, like the idea of the store going away, I never thought that it would affect me, like mentally. Because when I look at the store, I don't hate it now as an adult, right? But when I go there, I never thought it would feel weird to me that I wouldn't be able to go back into that store if my parents sell it and it disappears.
Right.
And like mentally, I was like going through this thing. It's like, oh, I won't be able to go in here again.
Yeah.
It's different. I won't be a part of this community anymore. A part of a community that my parents have belonged to for the last 30 years. We won't be a part of this anymore. And my mom has to start something new. And this chapter closes. And I'm actually kind of scared for them to close that chapter. I almost wanted them to keep the store open forever just because it's a part of my childhood.
Right.
Which is weird,
But they don't have to carry like big cases of beer and like
No.
right?
No, they won't. When Mulgon comes in, like stuff comes in, they have to unpack. And I think that's the tiring part for my mom. She's like, I don't know if I could keep doing this. Like I like the store, but I'm exhausted now.
Same reason with my mom. We don't get deliveries because we're far away and we don't get that much. Like we don't order enough, right? So my mom is the one going to Costco 2-3 times a week, carrying that heavy shit. Yeah, and bring it to the store. And now that she's 65, she's like, I can't do this anymore. So she decided to sell.
Wow.
And I know before when she tried, she had a lot of hesitation. She had so much fear and she backed out of selling a couple times before in the past. But listening to her now, she sounds a lot more peaceful in doing it. And so I'm happy for her. Yeah. Honestly. For me, it's like if I never went back there, I'm fine. Yeah. It's just a bummer we don't get gas anymore. Yeah. It was nice to have free gas. Yeah. And so I'm like, oh my, now you need an electric car because you can't just keep going and, filling up on gas. Yeah. And, she's trying to she told me to go get a job at like a boba tea shop.
What the fuck?
So,
what?
Because she wants to look into, maybe like a little small business that she doesn't have to like micromanage like she does the gas station. She wants me to probably manage one of her small businesses, like something that she can retire on. She wants to be a missionary. And what I realized, like a lot of me going out on missions was her sending me out to like fulfill this thing she always wanted to do. Yeah. Right. Which was like, dude, I was 7th grade. I'm in Mexico. By when I was 15, I was in the Philippines. Yeah, like 16, 18, I'm in China. All these things that she's sending me, and until I was like, so when I tell her, oh my, I think I'm supposed to go to Iraq, she's like, awesome.
She's like, yes, preach. Like, mom, it's dangerous. I don't care. Yeah. Go there. If you don't have a beard, they're gonna call you gay. Yeah. So don't worry, but it's to grow a beard. Yeah.
So now she's like, finally, like, yeah, I want to do YWAM. I want to do DTS.
Should be the oldest person at YWAM.
Well, there's groups of people, like old people, families that go. Yeah,
it's like they're with a bunch of 14-year-olds.
Yeah, they're together. Some of them, yeah. But yeah, she wants to be a missionary now too, and fund missions. My uncle does prison ministry in Korea, so she's been helping funding him for a number of years as
Oh
well.
wow.
So yeah, she just wants to do ministry. I think she wants to get ordained.
Wow.
Yeah, but then she still needs like a business, something to bring some income in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm happy for her. Like if she can chill finally, cause goddamn, I told you stories about my dad where he just disappeared, and I've called my mom to thank her about that. Like years later, just be like, I look back where my dad disappeared. And my mom was a single mom raising 3 fucking crazy kids,
Yeah.
and paying the rent,
Yeah.
working at and this was before the gas station. It was like she was working at a Korean market, as a cash register and doing all that shit too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, she worked hard. So I understand why the gas station means so much and was her lifeline. And it was like God ordained to her. It was a gift from God. Okay,
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad she can accept that she can let go of that place too now. So,
That's crazy, man. Like
yeah.
when you gotta go through life and these chapters start to close, it's you don't really think about it happening, right? And it just happens, and then it's just gone forever. And I think like I thought about how me and Mariel now we've been together 10 years,
Yeah.
and that 10 years feel like that.
Right.
And my mom has always talked about this. She goes, when you're younger, time feels so slow, but you just wait till you're older. It's almost like it's like sand just going through your fingertips. Like you
Right.
keep trying to hold on to it, and then every time you open your hand or when you close it, it doesn't matter. It just keeps spilling out constantly, all the fucking time, and there's nothing you could do about it.
Yeah.
Like that's what time feels like when you're older. She goes, I blink and I look at you and you're an adult. You know what I mean? Like you have businesses, you have your own set of friends. Like this, like you're living outside of my house. But I remember when you were a little kid in diapers and you scream out spanking. Like I can't. Every time I feel like I close my eyes and I sleep, I look at you and you've changed again. You've changed again.
Right.
But for me as a child, when I look at my mom, she looks the same.
Right.
Right. And the only way I realize how she gets old is when I take a photo of her. And I'm like, oh shit, this woman's old. Or I look at my dad, I'm like, oh shit, he's old.
Yeah.
But in the moment when I look at her, she still looks the same to me.
Yeah.
But parents see a different thing. They blink and they see this kid that's grown up constantly.
But they still treat you like you
Like
were
like a little child, which is crazy. Like I'm not a parent yet, but it's like when I do experiences, like I wonder if I will go through those same type of tropes. And like now, like we're not old, right? But then I start to think like, oh, my parents are around this age when they had me, even younger.
Yeah.
And at that time I looked at them like they were young, but I feel like I'm old now. And every time we get older, we always feel like we're old. Like it never changes. When you're 14, you feel like you're older than the 8-year-old. And when you're fucking 20, you feel like you're older than the kid that was in high school. It's just always the same thing over and over and over again. And I think like now I look at time very differently. And I start looking at time in seasons. It's like especially because you start farming and you look at food now. It's like, oh shit, like now another year has passed. I get to grow these crops again. And you only have a certain amount of years that you can grow these crops because a certain amount of years you're going to be alive.
Yeah.
So time starts to like be something that's very conscious in my mind now. Like I never thought about it so much as I do now. It's like, oh, every year, every second, every day that passes, I don't ever get it back.
Yeah.
It's gone. So now I'm starting to think about, okay, what am I doing with my life? Am I happy right now? And I was talking to my mom yesterday. She goes, if everything was going well for you, right? Which things they're okay, they're decent, right? And she goes, what do you want to do? She goes, how come you don't make YouTube videos anymore, right? And she always asks us stuff. She goes, when you did this stuff, it did better views, all this other stuff. Like she's my manager and shit, And I was like, oh my, let me ask you something. I was like, why don't you ask me like what makes me happy,
Right.
right? And she goes, I stopped doing those videos because it made me miserable, right? Like I was doing things that I just didn't care about. It was just every Sunday I would have to do something, and whether I wanted to or not. And after a while, it's like, why do you think I opened up these businesses? Is so I could go ahead and supplement this YouTube so I could just start doing things that I want. And it was like, I fell out of love with it,
Yeah.
I was like, when you went to work, like you told me, you went to work happy because you were so happy to look at what you've done. I was like, for me, I do feel that way about the YouTube and everything else. But what I enjoyed about it was the freedom to do what I wanted, right? If money wasn't a factor, this channel would be nuts.
It's funny if she saw your YouTube career like her the hair
Yeah, the hair store.
Like, this is your lifeline, YouTube. But
yeah. Genius Brain listeners, this podcast is brought to you by Kickoff. Credit is king, my friends, and I've told you a million times before, you need good credit. Bad, below average, or non-existent credit can hold you back from buying a house, a car, or even moving into a new apartment. I know I have been there when I was younger, and even for adults, this could be an issue with you. But guess what? With Kickoff, they are here to save the day. Users with credit under 600 increase their credit by an average of 30 points in the first month. Kickoff is a smart, legit credit hack with no catch and no credit check. It's simple. You make on-time payments, credit bureaus see good behavior, and your credit grows. It's freaking amazing. Use autopay to build credit while you sleep and never worry about missing a payment. Join over 1 million people building credit with a Kickoff credit account today. Get your first month for $1. That's 80% off the normal price when you go to getkickoff.com/genius today. That's Kickoff without the C. Get KIKOFF.com/genius. Must sign up via getkickoff.com/genius to activate offer. Offer applies to new Kickoff customers. First month only, subject to approval. Average impact of 30-point increase in first month based on Equifax Vantage Score 3.0. Changes for Kickoff premium customers with starting credit below 600 who made their first on-time payment between January 2021 and March 2024. Payment and credit activity outside Kickoff can have an impact on your credit. Terms and conditions may apply. Offer subject to change. Individual results may vary.
I made a plan.
Yeah, like I have a plan. I thought of things outside of this, right? So, for her, I was explaining to her, it's like, I didn't look at YouTube for money. I looked at it because it made me happy.
Yeah.
So I have to do it in the way that makes me happy. So you can't, it's almost like when she sees like, oh, remember when you used to get like 500,000 views on all your videos? It's like, the fuck are you worried about it for? If I'm not worried about it. She's like trying to give me advice. You should do this. Right. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing none of that shit. And she was like, well, how come you just don't care? It's like, it's not that I don't care. I care in the way that I want to. So I have to do it the way that I want, and it makes me happy. It's why I've been on the space for a long time. It's weird. I have to tell this to my mom,
You're giving as much energy as you can give to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And look, if YouTube was the platform that it was years ago, and I could technically I could make just a living off of this, it's like, it's hard to stay on top all the time.
Yeah.
You have to talk about the most stupid shit you don't give a fuck about. You have to find out what's trending and do that constantly. And then you end up being like, I don't know, eventually I'll be 40, right? In the next like 5 years, it's like, okay, 4 years. And then I'm this fucking 40-something-year-old dude doing, dances, TikTok dances. You know what I mean? Like, oh, wow. It's like, do I want to be this guy?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you get money, you get paid. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I have to go hang out with people, talk to people I don't give a fuck about. I want to keep doing this forever until I'm old and dead. No, I don't want to do that.
Hey, man, like, even I'm going through changes where I'm going through I don't want to call it a midlife crisis, but I don't think I want to keep doing what I'm doing either. That's another big change I made. I signed up for community college.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You said you're going to go into automotive.
Yeah. Automotive tech. I thought I would go into automotive engineering, but that requires associates and bachelors. I'm like,
I
just want to work on cars.
Yeah.
I think because I made my career out of like artistry, which is in like creating shit, I realized deep down, I hate when other people tell me what to do and how to make it for them. And I've never made anything for myself.
Yeah.
That's when people are like, oh, you're so good at this. Why don't you have your own YouTube channel? It's like, I don't got time to make money. I got to make other people's shit.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why I enjoyed making shit with you.
Yeah.
Making stuff with you is the kind of shit I want to make. Then it comes down to, oh, you do that for David. Can you do that for me? And I work with them. And it's like, dude, your shit fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And you won't let me make it better.
Yeah.
Because you're saying this is your shit.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wow, I'm so tired of this.
Yeah.
I was talking to my friend about it yesterday where I was just like, he was asking me, dude, why do you want to quit video, like in editing? And I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, it's like having a black belt in a martial art and being like, I just fucking hate this shit.
Yeah.
Why am I doing this?
I think that's how I felt with like YouTube stuff too for the longest time. Like it felt like that for the past like probably 8 years.
Yeah.
And I just didn't care anymore. Right.
Like, but you're so good at it.
Yeah. It's like, so?
I don't.
Right. It's like, all right. It's like, do this, do that. It's like, yeah, it's like, I wish I could do what you do. That's cool. Then go do it. right? But people will always find out the space. Like, you could tell somebody as much as you want that they should do something that you want, and it's not going to end up to anything. Like, they always do that. They go, you should do this because what? No, because it makes you happy.
Yeah.
You never ask me what makes me happy, right? You just see it from your lens and your perspective about what success is. Success is different from person to person, right? So if like somebody says to you, oh, you have all these videos, you could make your own YouTube video. Cool. The conversation should have been like, hey, would you like to do YouTube? They never say that. They put their wants and needs onto you, wondering why the fuck you're so stupid for not doing the stuff that they want.
Yeah. It's like, if I had your talent, I'd be doing that. Well, that's why you don't have the talent. You're coming to me. Right?
Exactly.
But I have the talent and I don't want to do what you do.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. It's essentially that at the end of the day. So now I'm just going to, as a profession, lay filmmaking and video down. I'll probably still be able to do it because I have you know, a computer and I still have the skills. You know, I just want to go to work at 9 a.m. and fix shit.
Yeah.
And then at 5, go home and then take the time to do what I want to do. Because you know what sucked about it is like when my 9 to 5 was looking at a computer screen and then my other side job was doing YouTube shit, then I had to look at a fucking computer screen for another 8 hours. It's just like those dreams, you know, working an 8-hour shift in my dream and then waking up and going to an 8-hour shift.
It's so funny you say that. Do you know that's one of the biggest reasons why I like farming?
It just takes you outside.
It just takes you outside and you just do this thing that's manual labor.
Yeah.
And it's done.
Yeah.
Right? When I go home, dust it off and I'm good to go.
That's what kind of like is what inspiring me to move on from my career was that, well, I make so much more money, you know, editing videos and doing that. When I go to my brother-in-law's restaurant, it's like that. Like I did the job, I did the labor, and there's something like I don't hate being there.
Yeah.
You know?
You contributed, you did your thing, and you walk away with the paycheck and you feel fine.
Yeah.
Right? And that was the thing too with when we were working at the store in Junbi and we're making drinks and stuff and I'm doing things. And I was like, I just feel so good.
Yeah.
Right? And they're like, oh, you're the boss. Like, why are you doing this stuff? It's like, you guys don't understand. Like, putting effort and seeing something created in front of you like that is actually very satisfying.
Yeah.
It's really nice. There are other, and sometimes too, I feel like I'm wasting my life away, right? Where, you know, after we do these podcasts and stuff, I'm working on a few other things here and there, but it's all behind a screen. Like I'm not really hands-on with things anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is, but there's this thing of like doing things with your hands or just kind of doing things to completion and walking away that allows you to relax your mind. Because right now my mind is on 24/7. Oh, is this thing happening at the store?
Yeah.
Is this thing happening? And it goes to that lifestyle thing about the lifestyle that you live on the previous podcast where we're talking about the level of fitness and where we said that this doesn't just apply to fitness, it applies to everything else. It goes, oh, I want the big bucks. I want the money. Cool. Now you have to do all the work that comes along with it.
Yep.
Can you be that person? Or can you be happy knowing that I don't have all the money in the world to go on these expensive trips and everything else, but my lifestyle is great. I get to relax. I have a peace of mind and maybe I don't need all these things. So that's where like people kind of forget, right? They'll look at you and they go, oh, you could have made millions. I was like, but do you know the lifestyle that I would have to live in order to make those millions? I'm not willing to give that up. I found a good medium and a balance. And so, for example, I have a friend who in the same group does amazing things, fucking built crazy companies, made all this fucking money. And you know what this motherfucker said? He goes, when I'm working, I look at your life and I wish I had what you had.
Yeah.
And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, dude, you have this huge home. I was like, yeah, but during the time where you were hanging out with all the homies and stuff, I was working and I made a corporate job for myself.
Right.
All the time working 24/7. And now I'm trying to not do that. I'm like 42 years old. And I'm here just like in that, you know, my 30s where you were in your 20s and 30s. Like, I wish I was there with you. I wish I was traveling with you. I wish we were eating out, doing all this other stuff. But I was in this office for the last fucking 20 years. Yeah. Just building my empire. And now, 42, about to be 43 in the next month. And all I think about is like all the time I wasted. It's like, could I have worked a little less to have still a somewhat amount of wealth and then been able to live my life a little more? Because in my mind, all I was saying was, I'm going to work my ass off so I don't have to work a day of my life later. But he goes, but my best years in those last 20 years are gone. Yeah. And now I have to do this in my mid 40s, maybe in my 50s, because I don't know when I'm going to be done with this. So it's like, why does my best years have to be in my latter years?
Right.
And I think like that kind of eats him up a little bit. And that blew my fucking mind because in my perspective, in my seat, I was like, maybe I should have worked a little harder. Because maybe so I could have a little more money and I could have bought the mansion or whatever else. It's not like I'm struggling, but it's like, yeah, it's like when I see all the nice cars he has and stuff, it's like, yeah, I guess that could have been me too. But I didn't do what he did. And we went two separate paths. But then the grass is always greener on the other side.
Right.
And it kind of blew my mind to hear that, for him to say that to me. I was like, oh shit. He goes, yeah, like you met your girl and, because he's single. He goes, I'm single because it's hard for a girl to meet up with my lifestyle. And the girls that do want to be around me, it's like they like me because I'm stable. I'm a version of stability, but they don't interest me. They don't make me laugh. They're not funny. They're beautiful, but they don't care about me.
Right.
You know, and the women that do care about me for a little bit, my lifestyle makes them hate me. So he's like, I feel like I foregoed a lot of things that I wanted to make this thing. And I'm like, shit, I never thought that's what you thought. You just look happy all the time.
Right.
I thought you were just happy because you're killing it. Like this fool lives a dope fucking lifestyle.
Right.
But hindsight's 2020. So I'm like, oh, interesting. He goes like, yeah, I saw you when you went with your wife to like Taiwan and, you know, Japan, and then you went to Korea, and then I see you going over here with your friends, all these new restaurants. I'm like, I want that.
It's like, yeah, he's sitting in his mansion. It's a little too empty and too much square footage for me.
I'm like, must be nice, dude.
Yeah.
But, you know, we always had these weird perspectives.
Yeah.
It was kind of, I want to say refreshing, but very eye-opening.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes when I feel like I could have done more, it's like, done more what, though? It's like, done more what?
Yeah.
Like, are you happy? It's like, yeah, I'm pretty happy.
Is it enough?
Yeah.
Is it enough? Is
And
kind of thing.
when is anything ever enough is the question, too.
Yeah.
Every time you feel like you're satisfied, you want to do more or buy more. It's like the same thing with like camera equipment.
Dude, my home theater, like I'm already, some parts I'm like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, you know? Because, okay, so I told you, I bought a separate 4K Blu-ray player.
Yeah.
It's a Panasonic UB820. It is the fucking, the 5-star player that everybody should get. You know, I have a PS5. PS5 could play 4K disc. But PS5 doesn't do HDR10 or Dolby Vision. I had to have this thing. And once I got it, I was like, yes, I got it. And now my contrast levels on my projector aren't good enough.
It just keeps going down. That's the same thing with equipment, right? I have like the Fujifilm X-H2S. I got it for video, right? It's a 6.2K, open gate, all this other stuff. But then I'm like, the autofocus isn't that great.
Yeah.
So, and it's not full frame.
Yeah.
But should I just get the Canon R5C? But it doesn't shoot open gate. What if I just have that camera and this camera? It's like, dude, now you're fucking 10 grand out of money.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
And now you need different lenses.
Yeah. And
now
then I just said,
a new battery.
Yeah. And then I go, wait, I'm not even shooting any videos. It's just like, what the fuck is this thing? It's just like this world of like acquisition, like more is always more.
Yeah.
Right. We have to buy things to constantly make us happy.
Yeah.
And even I was like going through this thing because I want to make YouTube videos again. And so I bought some more equipment, which is, you know, necessary equipment, which should have been the stuff I should have bought instead of the other things, which is stupid, right? So I bought all these extra lenses. Doesn't fucking matter. I only use 2 lenses anyway.
Right.
And then I got a V-mount adapter so I could stop switching things out. But I was like wrestling in my head. Do I need this? Do I need this? Do I need this? I'm like, you do need this. Because I'm over here, because I shot the last pod. I had to flip out batteries constantly. The monitor battery died. I'm like, just get the fucking V-mount and hook it up, dude. You don't have to deal with this. This is necessary. But I got into such a habit of like trying to convince myself not to buy these things because I made such poor choices in purchasing these things.
Right.
So now it's just like, okay, this is necessary. You should have bought this in the first place instead of the other 2 lenses because you didn't need those 2.
Yeah.
But you needed this.
Right.
Like, I think like consumerism is one of those things too that makes you feel like, I don't know. I think when you live in this city too, you just can't help but compare your life to somebody else's.
Yeah.
And
that's LA. Yeah.
And it stings a little bit, right? Because it's almost embarrassing.
Right.
It's like a weird thing to feel as an adult. When you're around other people who are financially more successful or whatever that it is, and then you don't have what they have, then you feel less of a man.
You know, I don't think it's just LA either. The suburbs.
It's like that too?
It's like that because somebody else has a higher position at work. Like say Seattle, like everybody works at Amazon, Microsoft, Nordstrom, whatever, right? Everybody works there. But then depending on what you have and don't have, I see it because in the smaller microcosm of the church community, there's that queen bee Unni who has everything,
Mm.
right? And all the little tongsangs want to be like her or whatever, and have what because she makes bank, she does a good job, and then they look up to her and they want to be mentored by her or whatever, all of that. And then so they want to try to start doing shit like that too, but without realizing that's maybe not for them. They just want what they have. And so I see, like, I don't know if it's like how we're raised through going through public high school, but then that mentality sticks around for a long time in small communities with like people for some fucking reason, even at church, thinking they gotta be better than somebody else, or have what somebody else has. It's just a human nature thing, to be honest.
Yeah, and I always feel, you always have to like remind yourself too. It's just like, this doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
Right? Because then like, as I continue to work and I make money, it's just like, I look at what I have and I go, I need more. I need more.
Yeah.
Like, no, you don't need fucking more, dude. You have plenty.
You want more.
You want more.
Yeah.
And like, I, have to like constantly remind myself that eventually we're going to die. We can't take none of this shit with us. So it's like, it's the Marie Kondo shit. Does it spark joy? I really do think about that a lot though. It's like every time I buy something, I was like, does it spark joy? That's why oh, by the way, if any of my friends are listening to this, I'm just going to say it right now. Stop buying me shit that I fucking hate. I know you think it's funny. Like you got these little funny little jokes. I hate shit. Right. I don't want more shit unless it's like stuff that I could actually use. Like I feel so bad because like some friends will buy stuff for me. They're like, oh, look at this. I got this, I don't know, this goofy little hat. I thought you could, and they're laughing like, oh, he'll love it. I take it and I go, thank you so much. When they leave, I throw it in the garbage. Right. Because I'm not going to use it. Yeah. I can't do anything with this shit.
They still think you can use it as a prop or something.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it's for memories. You just wasted fabric.
Yeah.
You wasted all this fucking money for no reason. What you should have got was me a hamburger.
Yeah.
A soda.
A gift card.
Things that I could actually use. They're like, oh, it's not fun. Yeah, fun for you. Who are you giving the gift for? Is it for you or for me?
Right.
Like I just don't like those things. Like, when they're going back to another country, they go, bring me back something. He's like, do you want something? No. And they bring me back a bunch of bullshit that I don't want. Like I'll give gifts that are kind of like cool. It's like, oh, wait, here. Maybe you should use this. You know what I mean? But like somebody came back with what the fuck was it? It was like a fucking it's like they went to Thailand and they got me like these. It's like these fucking trinkets or some shit. I'm like,
right.
I don't want this.
Like souvenir shit.
Yeah, it's like, this shit was fucking made in a factory. I don't fucking want this, dude. Like, don't give me this shit. Yeah. Like, it made from some old, like, Thai lady or something. But it's like, also, too, did you look at the decor of my house? Does it match?
Right.
Genius Brain listeners, this podcast is brought to you by BetterHelp. Mental health is mental wealth. What are you waiting for? We all carry around different stressors, big and small. When we keep them bottled up, it can start to affect us negatively. Therapy is a safe space to get things off your chest and figure out how to work through whatever's weighing you down. If you're thinking of starting therapy, my friends, just give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. I have been a major advocate of mental health and therapy. For those of you out there who feel like you need somebody to talk to and just get things off your chest in a very safe space, you got to try therapy. Listen, it can be for you, it can be not for you. Either way, you got to figure it out, and BetterHelp is there for you to be a part of that journey. So get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/genius today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/genius.
It's like someone going to Paris and they come back with a little Eiffel Tower trinket for you. It's like, I could have just Amazoned that shit, honestly.
Exactly.
What am I going to do with this?
Best thing to ever get me for a gift is gift card or food.
Weed.
Food or weed.
Yeah.
If you give me weed, I fucking love it.
Yeah.
You put me on whatever the bong that you put me on that was like on sale. Great fucking deal, by the way.
Did you get it yet?
Yeah, I got it. I've been using it. It's so good.
It's legit, right?
It's fucking legit. It's made out of all ceramic and glass. Like, I'm a little pothead now. And it just looks aesthetic as fuck.
Yeah, it's forever buy. You need a forever purchase.
Yeah.
You need something that'll last you forever.
That thing is fucking dope. And it looks like kind of I won't say an art piece, but it looks nice.
Yeah, it looks nice on your coffee table.
Yeah, like when people look at it, they go, oh, what is that? Like, they don't think it's a bong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't look like a beaker and some shit like that, but it was one of those good purchases that I got, it was like, I think it was on sale, so it was like $140, $120. I'm like, I'm gonna get this. And by the way, I already have a bong.
Yeah.
This is substantially better.
When I bought that one, like I bought it when it was $260, and I still think it was like one of the best purchases I ever made in my life.
Yeah.
So you got it for a great deal on top of it. It's like, hey.
It's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, so it's like, now I don't send David any more bongs. Like, I don't need any more bongs.
Yeah, please, dude. Or like, here's the other thing too. When people hit me up, they go, I got this clothing brand. I'm like, please don't.
Yeah.
Please don't do this. It's like, if you have something, I just don't want it. You know what I mean? Like, or at least show me that this is what you should do. Show me the catalog and then let me pick something.
Right.
Right? Because that's typically what I would do. If somebody wants something, it's like, okay, here's the catalog of stuff. You pick out what you like and we'll see if we have it. Because when you start setting stuff too, it's like, you have to understand we have to style it.
Right.
So if it doesn't look dope, then we're not going to style it. It's pointless. So sometimes like one of the things I used to do early on YouTube, I used to only wear free shirts.
Yeah.
Right. Which was just a goofy fucking funny thing. And I think that bit me in the ass. So they'll like send me like bullshit shirts like this. I don't like this, man. Like, this is not fun for me, dude. Like, don't do this to me.
Yeah.
Just send me some nice shit. Send me a taco.
Yeah.
You know, I'll fucking eat that shit on this podcast.
Yeah.
That's why I stopped doing the P.O. box. So you two, the person who said I should do a P.O. box was actually Gina.
Right.
Because she has a P.O. box where people could send her stuff and she loves receiving gifts. Dude, biggest mistake of my life. Opened up this P.O. box, fucking piles of shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? And look, appreciative,
right?
Because people are trying to show love for me, right? But I didn't think about what I had to do with all this stuff. It was so much things. And then I felt bad because people are giving something to somebody who doesn't need this thing when other people could probably use this.
Right.
So I started feeling guilty because it's like, oh, I'm taking things that I don't need.
Right.
And so people send me some dope shit and I started like donating, not in disrespect to the people who are giving it to me. I just wanted to make sure that it got good use.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, oh, now it feels like nangbi, like it's greed.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? I don't know. Like I went through this whole thing of like wanting less. And I feel like it made me a lot happier.
For sure. Like I'm in that stage too, but at the same, like I have what I want to have that makes me happy. And it's a lot of it, which is Blu-ray discs.
Yeah.
But I love it because I love the medium. It's the best way to watch movies for me. There's a huge difference between streaming and watching it. And that's my thing. I have a library. And what I realize, it's because I want to recreate the video rental store we used to have when I was in 7th grade and I was renting out movies. It's like, that's not around anymore, but I can have my own personal video library. Like, it's like I can have my own personal Blockbuster in my house. And looking at just a library of movies.
You know, it'd be really fucking cool, dude, if like, I know this is a stupid idea. This is probably not a fantastic business move, but it'd be kind of cool if you wanted to do that. Is, you know, let's say your mom wanted to open up like a coffee place, right?
Yeah.
By the way, if you did want to do something, don't do boba, do coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee is a legalized drug.
Right. That's true.
Coffee store, you know, small fucking menu, but just really good coffee, right? And then you guys have a back room that people can rent out. It's a small theater. And so it's the rental DVD store. So they it costs them, I don't know, it's like, hey, this is a private room. It'll cost you $50 an hour. And then you and 5 other people can have a private.
You're like, well, yeah, watch Dune Part 2. Yeah. 3-hour movies.
Yeah, but they get to have a theater experience.
Yeah.
Because if you guys don't know, his house watching experience for movies feels like a theater.
Yeah.
It feels just like a theater to me.
I had to build it that way. That was my lifelong dream, was I'm gonna make some money. I'm gonna have my own theater.
Yeah. So imagine like you have this, and there's this back room where it's like members only type of thing. Right. I don't know. It's like if you want to rent this place out, you're like a little
like a norebang type of thing.
Yeah, like a date norebang type of thing. You could fill it up with 4 or 5 people, maybe just 4 people. Watch a movie there.
Okay, so like what people think karaoke is you singing in front of a bunch of people at a bar, like just open. And then there's the Korean norebang style where it's like, no, you and your friends. People are running away from theaters these days. Yeah. Like the new Planet of the Apes and Furiosa apparently didn't do well at the box office.
Mad Max
like
did trash, dude.
Yeah. Even though it was a decent movie.
Opening week, I think it did $5 million, bro.
5 mil?
$5 million. Opening week in the States or something like that.
Oh,
like,
shit.
It did $5 million.
I thought it was like 50 million.
I thought it was like
for because it was Memorial Day weekend.
Okay.
And that's when they should have expected like 100 mil.
Yeah, it was bad though. It was
but after
terrible.
that, boom, like the numbers are always going to be less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was something horrendous. I was like, dude, that is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, the whole movie watching experience too, movies have been doing pretty bad lately.
Yeah. But if you could watch it in your own personal thing, that's why it's sad because people are watching movies like Dune on their fucking phones or their laptops when it's meant to be seen on a big screen.
Yeah.
But what if you could have your own little personal space with a giant screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would just put a sign, no fucking in here.
Yeah, no fucking.
No fucking.
Oh
no
my
dick.
God.
I would literally put pictures of like somebody giving head and put an X through it.
Dude, I was at a Norabang and I saw some girl getting eaten out. And it's like, yo, these doors have big windows so
you can see everything.
Yeah.
I would put cameras. Like, by the way, there's cameras in here.
Yeah.
So if you're getting your dick sucked, guess what? I'm jacking off to it later. Yeah. So, you figure it out what you want.
Yeah.
Be my guest. If you want to go ahead and clap some cheeks, I'm also going to jack off to your. So think about it. You make that fucking choice, dude. That'd be fucking dope, dude. If you had a couple of rooms where you set it, or even just one, just for fun.
Yeah.
Just to see what happens. And if it doesn't if that part doesn't, well, that's not the part that's the part of the business.
Yeah.
That's just the part that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Where would you guys do it? Whatever you guys want to do.
My mom's still trying to figure it out. She was looking at properties in fucking Texas and then Georgia, Washington, here in California. I had to go look at some places for her. And it's like, it's impossible to find a decent house in LA. Like I looked at 100-year-old house.
Impossible.
Yeah. And so it's like, okay. And so she wants to look at small businesses like, coffee, boba tea, whatever, something. And yeah, she's still trying to figure out. She has like some amount of time to make a decision on that.
I mean, congratulations to her. I mean, she finally got to, she's kind of figure out what she wants to do now and do what she does. I think that's like the ultimate goal, right? To retire and then kind of fulfill she already fulfilled her duties. So she gets to live her life that she wants.
Yeah. So then she could travel, without having to think about the store in the back of her head all the time. Or whatever. Yeah. Or I got to go and watch the store so she can go do something.
I like how her dream still is you working for her.
Yeah. That's true.
She goes, oh, and I had this dream. You come work for me still.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, hold on a second.
You work, that's how I can live my dream. But, a part of me is also like, I want to give that to her.
Yeah.
So that's where also I'm like okay with it. But at the same time, a lot of my friends are like, no, dude, you got to do your own thing kind of thing. But if I'm like, maybe I want to do this, I'd be okay with it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's dope. I mean, well, shit, we were supposed to talk a little bit about Dune, but that didn't fucking happen. Well, we'll talk. Well, Dune is going to be like an hour-and-a-half podcast anyways, so it probably wouldn't have worked out.
For a little bit then, have you seen Acolyte?
No. What was Acolyte?
The new Star Wars show. The first Korean in Star Wars, dude.
Is it good?
Lee Jung-jae, Squid Game.
Oh, really?
He's in it, yeah. It's decent.
I'll tell you what I did see, though.
What?
Fucking that Jennifer Lopez movie. Jesus Christ, that's bad.
Really?
I thought the first like few minutes of it.
Atlas?
Dude, it's bad. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of a script that was shelved 20 years ago that they decided to do now.
Right.
And it's so fucking bad. The corniest sci-fi trope ever. Same shit done all over. And then she's like in this suit, and that's like where a majority of the movie is.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then Simu Liu pops up, ruined it even more. I'm kidding. I was like, he actually plays the villain.
God.
He's like the villain AI thing. But I had no idea how bad of an actress Jennifer Lopez is.
She can't even sing either, apparently.
She's fucking horrendous.
Yeah, there's a whole thing about like how she really is talentless. She can dance.
Yeah.
But yeah.
She was just hot.
Yeah.
And I had no idea how bad of an actress she was until I saw that. I was like, oh shit, you're fucking terrible, dude. And they had Sterling K. Brown, who's a fucking amazing actor. Right. But if the line is shit and the concept's bad, it doesn't fucking matter how good you are.
Right.
Oh my God. But Acolyte's good?
Acolytes, yeah, it's decent. Well, this last episode was a little. Star Wars has a thing where they're good at casting shitty kids. When there's kids in a Star Wars movie, you just like hate them?
Yeah.
That's the same. Every time there's a kid in Star Wars, like, I don't like this kid.
Yeah.
that happened in the last episode. But Lee Jung-jae speaks English. But it's funny though, you see all the interviews in BTS, he's speaking Korean with the translator. It's like he knows the lines and he's performing the lines really well. I don't think he knows what they mean.
That's so funny. Dude. Of course.
Yeah. So it's all in English for him.
I'm happy. It's like, what does that mean? Bula.
It's like, but he's like a Jedi master, and he's decently. Oh, and it's much more of a kung fu Star Wars.
Oh, it's martial arts.
Martial arts, yeah.
They have, of course, they put one Asian in, and they're
Yeah.
just like, it has to be martial
Like,
arts.
finally, it's like, you go through the entire galaxy, and for many, many decades, it was just white people. And now it's like multicultural. It's diverse, right?
Yeah.
You go on the internet, people are review bombing it because, oh, strong black woman, diversity, DEI. And it's like, there's just some hating ass haters out there.
I mean, that's not I'm putting different ethnicities, I don't think is a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
It's not like, because it's the human race.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if it's the human race.
There's
then,
aliens too.
yeah, what the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know, man. People are up in arms about where the direction Star Wars is going.
Look, I kind of, whether I agree or disagree or not, I kind of understand why, people, they see, I don't know, like a Black American mermaid, right? And they're like, oh, this is not what I grew up with. Whatever. That can be, I guess it's like a somewhat of a pass, right? Fine, whatever. Even though it's a fucking mermaid.
Yeah.
And it's based on like a Nordic thing, so they want it to be white. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Well, you could put that argument out and then we could discuss that. This is aliens, bitch.
Yeah.
Like this. And it's humans. Humans have different ethnicities. It doesn't change anything.
It's like in Star Wars in the past, you go to an entire different planet across the galaxy, and it's a planet yet again full of white people.
Yeah.
Like, are you ever gonna get to a planet and imagine it's just all black people?
Yeah.
Is that gonna happen? Or all Asians? No, it's just gonna be aliens. And
by the way, all the aliens look different.
Yeah, all the aliens look different. Yet, because there's black women in it, there's like just haters on the.
That's so fucking weird
YouTube,
to me.
like-
I didn't think that would happen for Star Wars because Star Wars is just all different creatures, and I don't get that.
Yeah, me neither, honestly. Like, I get the. Okay, what if it's like, oh, Star Wars was always for boys, right? But now Kathleen Kennedy is in it, and she's self-inserting herself into it, like with Rey, this like a blonde white chick, and then Lucasfilm also, not blonde, brunette white chick. Lucasfilm also runs Indiana Jones. So that last one was a shit show. But then at the same time, they're kind of implying that the next Indiana Jones is yet another brunette white woman, right? And so it's not just the black and diversity thing. I think it's like, oh, they're feminizing Star Wars when it was always like a boys' property. I think that's the anger they have with it. They're just dragging along the identity politics with it on top of the hate or whatever.
I mean, listen, for anybody who's watching Star Wars or whatever, it got bought out by Disney.
Yeah.
So that's what you're going to see.
Yeah. What did you think?
They don't give a fuck about anything but money, right? So if their idea of money is, shifting the narrative to more liberal ideals, then they're going to follow the fucking money. That's all that it is. So if you want it to follow the other way around, you just guys have to gather around and be more racist. Yeah, I mean, you got to be a little more sexist, a little more racist, make it cool again. Make sexism cool again.
Yeah.
And then after that, Disney will shift over that way. That's all that it is. I figured it out for you, man.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why there's a culture war now. It's like, oh, why does this have to happen?
Yeah.
Isn't the Force for everyone though? Everyone.
Exactly. Who the fuck care? You guys are treating it like it's fucking Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
I mean, like Dragon Ball has this thing where, everybody powers up for some reason. Like Saiyans were impossible to obtain, and then all of a sudden everybody's a fucking Saiyan.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
Yeah.
Like, this is just fucking.
Well, now they've not racially, but diversified their powers. So like Gohan is like Beast Saiyan or something like that.
Oh.
And Goku's like God or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? And Vegeta is Ego. And then Piccolo now has his like golden form where he's like a big giant burly.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So everybody's leveling up, but they're not all just Super Saiyan. They have their own little.
They're running out of
niche
ideas
to it.
now,
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
That's fucking ridiculous. Well, guys, that wraps up this episode of the Genius Brain podcast. Genius Brain every Sundays at 12 p.m. In the comments below, I would like to hear your stories about your parents' like struggles and like the businesses that they own and how you guys feel about your parents' businesses, because I think that's a very interesting story to hear. Ed Park VP is where you could find him. You could go ahead and DM and message him there. Bible Study at Momo, and is his podcast where you guys could go ahead and listen to that. And we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
Peace.